包开了。Thank you very much. Okay, I'll start with this. The last question by Juanita. Juanita, for foreign spouses, are you married to an American? Yes. Okay. Actually, lately after the, thank you, your name? Eric, is it? Larry. Okay. Welcome to the little Penang in the Frisco area. Bay Area, sorry. Bay Area. Frisco Bay Area.
Close enough.
Close enough. So anyway, I think after the March the 8th political tsunami last year, you find that the federal government has relaxed some of its previous restrictions. So I think that makes our point that when you have a two-party system, you force the federal government to be more responsive to the needs not only of the people but also to the trends internationally. So when you talk about foreign spouses, it is a federal matter. The federal government for the time being has not completely removed the restrictions, but they have relaxed the restrictions to make it easier for foreign spouses to reside in Malaysia. That's all I can say about the present situation, but I can assure you that all these restrictions will be removed when we get power at the federal level. Okay, Juanita, thank you.
How can you help us to register to vote?
That is the problem. They refuse to allow absentee or postal votes overseas.
Yes,
so when you go back home, but now registration is done 365 days a year. So it's done every day. So when you go back home,
post office,
register.
Okay.
So Juanita, you can register at the post office or at the elections commission.
Money.
At any post office.
Don't need yet.
One call. Can you please register? Anyone here who has not registered?
Registered already.
You don't want to put a hand, understand? But please remember, go back, register, because your vote matters. Your vote can change the country's future and your future as well. Okay. The next one is from Joseph of Sarawak. 24 years in America, mine, and 14 years as a public servant. Are you an American citizen? Unfortunately. Malaysian. Okay. Actually, what you mentioned is a very good point. We are also worried about leakages flowing from the fact that we are giving handouts, cash. So amongst the measures that we have taken to try to cut down these excesses or abuses is to give money directly to the recipients by transferring or wiring the cash into their bank accounts. I think which is what is done also in the States. In the past, they always go through middlemen. And when they go through middlemen, even though check is written in their name, the middlemen collect, you know lah, when they collect, they ask for commission. So that has been the standard practice in the previous government. We stopped that when we took power. We followed the US system, we wired cash directly to their account. That's number one, but that's not foolproof. So in order to as I said, to try to reduce, to mitigate these excesses, what we have done is that we have got the collaboration from USM, which is the National Science University in Penang, to help us in this program, and we also will conduct audits, which is, of course, it's only a sample, but audits to make sure there's no hanky-panky or funny business going on. So whilst I can assure you that we are doing everything we can, I cannot guarantee you zero. No one can guarantee you zero abuse of power, not even the state. But we can assure you that they will be detected quickly and we will punish them. Hell will punish them. And the Penang is very firm on fighting corruption. We are the first state and so far the only state to offer integrity awards. You know, in the past, if you expose corruption, you are in deep trouble. Always the whistleblowers go to jail. The corrupted fellas get dictatorships and touchlyships. So when we took power, we changed that. We don't, of course, don't give dictatorships to those who are corrupt. We give dictatorships to whistleblowers. And we just implemented the 10,000 ringgit integrity award to all civil servants who expose malpractices and corruption, and the first recipient, you believe it or not, is a judge in the Islamic High Court.
Wow.
Who exposed corruption within the Islamic High Court of 500,000 by some officials. Imagine, even Allah's money also there. So this shows how bad corruption is. And this is only a reflection of the leadership, because the leaders are corrupt, that's why corruption happens even in the Islamic court. It's no reflection of Islam. But it shows that because the leadership doesn't practice good anti-corruption measures, that even these corrupt practices happen. As the Chinese saying goes, "上梁不正下梁歪." So that's why where there's no leadership, for example, that corruption covers every area. Even in the Islamic court, it can happen. And fortunately, we have this honest Islamic High Court judge that blew the whistle. And when he blew the whistle, at least he stopped the rot, even though we lost more than $500,000. At least he stopped the rot, and we rewarded him with the 10,000 ringgit integrity award, and also gave him a datorship.
Wow.
So now we get a datorship for exposing corruption. Not like the past, you get a datorship because you're corrupt. So that's the difference.
Okay.
So in that sense, we hope that can go on. And Lee Teng's question asking me how I rate myself. That was very hard to say. How to say that how I rate myself? I think probably the answer would be how others rate us.
11.
How others rate us. Thank you very much, Daniel. I think you're a wonderful guy. You are one of the reasons that keep us going, even though we are dead tired, invested all over the place by the Pakistan National, keep on going. But let's see how others rate us. And if I just give an example, we want to be international city. To get international city status, there must be some recognition from international organizations. And I want to say this, that we feel very proud that we have been commended for the first time. Any government in Malaysia, for that matter, has been commended for the first time by Transparency International. You know, when Transparency International comes out with its annual report and it mentions Malaysia, it has only criticisms reserved for Malaysia. And this year is no exception, because from number 47 last year, we backslided to number 56. In terms of points, 5.1 points, passing rate, now 4.5, fail grade. But in the midst of all this gloom and doom, it has praise for Malaysia's Penang government kept principles. And we are proud to be the first government in Malaysia, whether federal or state, to be commended and praised by Transparency International. That shows that Malaysia can be clean. And I think that's the answer to your question, Lee Teng. I don't rate myself, let others rate me. I think that would be the most fair and the most, I would say, neutral assessment. Oh yeah, and then Chow, thank you Chow. You always remind me what I missed out. And also the Auditor General report. The Auditor General report praised Penang for applying people-centric policies and a prudential budget that allowed us to record our budget surplus. So we also got praise from AG's report. But as I said, it doesn't, much as we appreciate the Auditor General's praise and commendation, we do not want to be a jago kampung. We don't want to be only a champion at the local level. We want to be, as I said, international rated, and we treasure and value that commendation from Transparency International. The other one on the question of brain drain by Mr. Lim. I think you asked what are the compelling reasons that would convince you to move back home? Because I think you need a lot of sacrifice, and it's a big decision. I would definitely agree with that. Before you do so, just like any of your other decisions that you've made, especially when you want to find a new job, you will scout around and look at the company. Do the same for Penang. Scout around and look at Penang. Now Penang, the last 18 months, there have been changes. But we have not, as I said, brought all this together, even though we are getting there. Look around Penang and see whether these are the changes that you like. I always say that the changes that really matter are those that you can see, those that you can feel, and those that you can touch. I think these are the changes that really matter. And in Penang, as I said, that's how we measure ourselves. Changes that people can see, that people can touch, and people can feel. And amongst the many steps that we have taken, especially for to try to encourage the professionals, the Malaysian diaspora, the Penang diaspora overseas, to come and return home to Malaysia. If other parts of Malaysia is not to your satisfaction, never mind. Penang is still the last resort. Still there for you. And amongst the measures that we've taken to make Penang much more attractive, of course, to be an international city, we may have certain amenities, such as we are building the Penang International Convention Center. We are also, when I return home, I'll be chairing a meeting on the tennis board to decide which company will get the Eco theme park in Teluk Bahar, the first theme park in Penang. We are also improving our heritage conservation efforts and also brightening up the art and cultural scene. This year we sponsored for the first time an international art exhibition where we got participants from 26 countries. We also sponsored an international jazz festival, which has never been done in the past. And we also have 2 symphonic orchestras. Now it's headed by Irene Yap, the wife of one of the scions of the famous Yap Chor Yi family. So we hope to get things moving to make Penang attractive. So before you make the decision whether to relocate from the California to Penang, go back, scout around, see whether it is to your liking. And of course, I don't have to recommend to you the food in Penang. That's world famous, not said by the Chief Minister, but said by New York Times. You know, New York Times rated Penang food as the 2nd best in the world. Don't ask me which was the best, I forgot already. Okay, and then there's Mr. Lim. We hope that, of course, you can get in touch with us if you have any other questions. And then our Chongling, sorry? Yongnam, our Chongling boy, also asked about this, the fact that we are not doing, I think, our part in the PR presentation. I admit that. Sometimes we give instructions to our civil servants. Probably they are not up to mark. But I'm sure there are reasons behind it, because probably that message, sometimes the speeches have not been communicated to them. But I think this is a problem that there's no excuse for it to continue to happen. We will definitely welcome any suggestions or any help to improve our webpage. And I think, Jeffrey, can you please get down his number? And an email address so that you can put forward suggestions. Finally, I think the question by... The first question, who is it? Caroline. No, about crime. Sorry, the name, you get the name? Oh, crime and education. Caroline asked about crime and education because this is a federal matter. What can a state do about it? You know, that's a very important question, because when I talk about crime and I talk about education, trying to take steps to improve public order and also to improve our education standards, they tell me you cannot do so because it's a federal matter. Now, when the federal government is making a mess of it, are we going to sit down there and twiddle our thumbs and do nothing? Just that when something is on fire, just because the firemen are not here, are you going to sit there and not do anything? We can't. We have to try to do something to save the situation, or else I think we will be remiss in our responsibility, especially when we think that the federal government is not doing the right things, not putting enough efforts on excellence, on attracting the best brains, and retaining them. You know, Einstein did define insanity. You know how he defined insanity? He defined insanity as doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to get different and better results. And that is what the Malaysian government is doing. Quite insane. So we need new ideas, new and creative ideas. If we are to double the number of professionals and become a knowledge-based and knowledge-intensive industries, and I welcome your inputs. We have, I think, our best brains, our think tank, We also have a think tank. We also hope to make it the international think tank. Our young brains addressing the issue, and we hope that we can offer alternatives so that we don't do the same, the try and the fail methods. But as I say, get Penang moving forward so that we can, as I said, be the center of the best race in the country. I mean, it's not only from California. No, when I went to Dubai, I met a group of professionals. I was so surprised they were all Malays. I said, how come all of you here? They said, we can't get the opportunities in Malaysia. Semua ini mesti ada UMNO punya hubungan baru ada. Kita tak ada cable politik. So I said, if you are in Dubai, what is there left in Malaysia? I said, are you coming back? He said, yes, we will come back. But please lah, when there's a change of government. So if you want us to return home, please change the federal government quickly. So this is the yearning not only from California but also from Dubai. Not only from you here but also from all Malaysians throughout the world. They want to see a regime change.
Yes.
Because they think that that is the only hope left. When we talk about cables, we don't talk about political cables.